I'm here in North Korea. You're not allowed to fly drones here for obvious reasons, but who's gonna know? Okay, I'm not in North Korea, but I'm as close as one can get without being arrested. This is Dandong, China. In the news, North Korea is always portrayed as a starving, military-obsessed shit show. And they are, but that really doesn't capture the whole picture. China and North Korea are not enemies. The view of North Korea from mainland China looks like this. However, something that strikes me as odd is that since the average Chinese person doesn't see North Korea as an enemy, wouldn't it seem weird that the China side of the border is alive with capitalism and the North Korea side is dead? On the Chinese side, they were selling North Korean money, cigarettes, and trinkets. On the North Korean side, they were doing military marches and building something that already looks abandoned. It's common for Chinese tourists in Dandong to make day or weekend trips to North Korea. They offer trips to stay with North Korean families and eat local food. I gotta say, I was tempted to try it, but I didn't want to die. I traveled to Dandong via train. Train travel gives you a stronger sense of place, since you can actually see where you're going and how much distance you've covered. The Dandong train station, in my opinion, was kind of boring, especially in comparison to some of the other train stations I've seen in China so far. No spitting, no littering. Apparently foreigners can bring pets here, since they didn't bother translating that one. No smoking. A point for Dandong, they did not give me an issue for being a foreigner at the hotel, even though the worker had a really hard time entering me into the system.
对，上面是姓，然后这些签名。
For context, in China, any person who lives in a place for any period of time is required to register with the police. For Chinese people, this means simply giving them their national ID and then having their photo taken. For foreigners, this means giving them your passport and having them go, sorry, we don't accept foreigners here because they don't know how to enter a passport into the system.
没有接待外宾这个资质的。
Imagine if you went to a hotel in the United States and they were like, sorry, we don't take foreigners. That hotel would be canceled. Most developed areas of China feel very similar in terms of urban design. But as you get closer to the border cities with lots of ethnic minorities, things become unstandardized and unique. Sometimes this is a good thing because the standard way can get mundane, boring, or even obnoxious. Other times, like when you're trying not to get hit by cars in the micro bike lanes that are blocked by parked cars and people are forced to walk in the road, it makes me miss standardized China. The border between the two countries is the Yalu River, a famous river for being the one that the Chinese troops crossed to enter North Korea during the Korean War. The Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge was bombed by the United States during the war. It's since been rebuilt, and the old bridge now serves as a war monument, one that you have to pay to walk across. I'll stick with my drone, thanks. Oh wait, you're not allowed to fly drones here. Too late. One of Dandong's biggest tourist attractions is the Korean War Memorial Museum. In Chinese, the Korean War is known as the War to Resist U.S. Aggression and Aid Korea. The United States joined that war to prevent communism from spreading throughout Korea. China joined that war to prevent the United States from turning the entire peninsula into a U.S. ally. Both the US and China act like they were doing it just in support of the Koreans, not at all for their own personal gain. I left that museum with a new perspective of Korean culture and an understanding of North Korea, which made standing on the border and staring across the bay all the more captivating. Subscribe. Join my channel.